and the arts and things that are based on more on opinion. Because, you know, in basketball, you know, you score a certain amount of points per game, per year, or whatever, you're going to go to the top. Whereas in the arts, like say in television, it really is like, it's all subjective. It's your opinion. And one of the things that has come up recently on the CBS television show All Rise. Thank you. Where is he? There you go.
You're the best. You're the best I've ever seen, Moody. The king of the segue.
Just working it. I'm just working it. And this is going to be a difficult topic to talk about because the showrunner of All Rise is actually a friend of mine. His name is Greg Spottiswoode. The two guys that created it, Greg Spottiswoode and Greg Nelson, they're white guys, and they're making a show about a black woman who is in the legal, who is a lawyer or a judge in America. And there has been conflict amongst the writers of color. And recently, a whole bunch of writers of color just quit from All Rise because they just felt like their stories weren't being told. Now, here's the thing. I know Greg Spottiswoode personally. I've spoken with him personally. And he's been very supportive and helpful to me over the years in many ways. He's not a racist. He's not. I'm telling you, I would bet $1,000 on it. He's not a racist. Greg Nelson, not a racist. But they're in a situation where writers of color were very frustrated about not having their voices heard. And personally, I think it's the system. And this has always been my point. You can be a black person and still be a part of a racist, a system that has racism, which we call systemic racism. So I feel for them. I feel for Greg, the two Gregs, but ultimately there is a problem with All Rise that has to be solved by looking deeper at the system and not the people.
You know, it was interesting. Just recently, someone, I don't think it was one of you guys, but someone was telling me that an executive told them that you can find individual black actors, but it's next to impossible to find a black family, right? Of like an ensemble of black actors in a family situation, right? And what was interesting for me about that statement was seeing how would a white writer write to a black family with no experience. And I'm what I'm seeing. Hold on. What I'm finding, your statement just now, what's interesting, and it is systemic, about white writers writing stories for black folk is that they're already in a position of compromise where their experience with the black story is in the negative. So already, without any intention, they're behind the 8 ball, right? And I've seen this recently in these films with mixed casts, written and directed by white folk, where the black actor is put in a position where, you know, they listen to a certain form of music that most black people don't listen to. Their movement is, you know, their dancing is coming from a different, like all the cultural tropes are coming from a white perspective, right? And their blackness is not really a part of a white director, white writer's story. They want black actors in them, in those positions. They want black actors in the show or in the film, but they don't necessarily want them being black.
So, okay, here's this. All these conversations are interesting. I think this is why we do this podcast every week, even though we have 5 people who watch every episode. Thank you, 5 people, because
we've got 18 subscribers. Okay, 18.
Wow.
Really?
And
only half of them even watch the show.
Thank you. You have too much time on your hands.
I have to say, Segway Monster is one of them.
Wow.
Yay! There we go.
He's doing it. And I gave him an Instagram.
Oh, can we call him Mujiri?
Exactly. That's good. I actually like that. Okay, so
Here's
here's my issue. I don't think it's systemic. I think that there is systemic racism, but I don't think this issue is systemic because I think he's just not listening to his writers. You know, like I've had, you know, sort of low end showrunner gigs. You know, we sold to Bell Media, and I had, you know, one of the most multicultural rooms ever, and it's very simple. Like I think you just ask your writers and talk to, and I think that I don't know, but it sounds like you have, you know, Chernold Edwards, who I believe is also Canadian originally, right? She's there, and she's
She
very
was there
respected.
somewhere.
Yeah. But so she's a very respected Black woman with lots of credits, and I'm just like, you've got, you know, like a really seasoned person in your room, but it sounds like you're not listening to her, right? And so this is the thing, is that I think sometimes these decisions are made, and then, you know, and I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't really know any of these people at all personally, right? It's just, I think that if you're a white showrunner and you have a multicultural room and they're saying you're not listening to them, it's probably because you're not listening to them.
Yeah.